Kenneth G Hasty, raw. In 3, 2, 1.
Hi everybody, Kenneth G Hasty back again. If you're new to my video series, this is a free series if you're a business owner or a salesperson to hopefully help you to get more sales and grow your business. I'm a business growth consultant, so if you're interested in business growth consulting, you can get a hold of me. You can look at the link at the bottom of the email and set up or the bottom of the page here and set up an appointment. Or if you want to just check me out, you can go to kennethghasty.com. I'm also the author of a popular book on selling called 77 Seconds to Sales Success. You can get this book at Barnes & Noble, Amazon, or you can go to 77secondstosalessuccess.com. But that's not the reason, get back here, that's not the reason I'm here. I'm here to talk to you and give you some little pointers. So today's segment, well, first I'll tell you a story and it'll give you kind of a perspective. One time I was relocating to Dallas, Texas, and I needed to buy a house, and I wanted to buy a house fast. I needed to move my family down. They were young. They were still up in Seattle. And so I made an appointment with a realtor, and I said, look, here's what I can afford. I've got this much down payment, and I can afford this much of a payment. And the realtor is like, oh, well, how expensive a house do you want to get? And I'm like, look, if I can buy $1 million house for that, I'd be happy to. I know I can't, but, you know. So this is what I have down. This is what I can afford in the payment. And I'd figured it out very carefully, you know. And the realtor, first realtor I hired, she took me around to house after house that was significantly more than I could afford. And I'm like, look, you're wasting my time and your time. I only have a couple days here to look and buy a house. She just didn't get it. I think they're taught to, like, well, you give them a budget, they go to one that's half again or twice as much, and you'll just get emotionally attached and take that one. But that wasn't the case. I had a very set budget. So I went to another realtor, and I told her the problem, no problem. So she takes me around, same thing, to houses, you know, you do the math, and they're way out of my price range. And I'm like, what the heck are you doing here? So finally, I get a hold of this realtor's guy, and he'd been around for a while, and he goes, okay, I understand exactly what you're saying. So he showed me 3 houses. They were all in my price range. I bought the third one probably in a half a day. So, you know, the reason that worked is because I already had broken my budget into bite-sized pieces. I knew that I could afford a house roughly X amount because the payment would be so much. So let's talk about how that works when you're selling. Think about, and by the way, that's the name of the segment, bite-sized pieces. Let's say you're watching a car commercial on TV, and you see this nice luxury car, maybe a luxury SUV, and you're like, you know, oh, I'd love to have that car, but I can't afford it, you know. And they don't go on there. They don't say, tell you what, give me $50,000 in cash, and you can drive this baby off the lot today. No. They break it up for you. So let's say you go to the dealer and you're looking, you know, at this $50,000 car, and if you're talking to a good salesperson, they'll go, you know, because you're like, oh, that's out of my price range, and they're like, so here's what I would say if I was that sales guy. I'd say, well, you know, that works out to, we can get it to you for about $600 a month based on your good credit. So for $600 a month, that's really only $20 a day. And, you know, in fact, that's less than $1 an hour. So you could be driving this car of your dreams for less than $1 an hour. You know, would you be interested in that? Well, you're like, yeah, I probably could, right? So you drive off the lot with a $50,000 car, and you rationalize and justify how you're going to pay for it. Well, that's a really good technique for selling and you know, some people call it reducing it to the ridiculous or bite-sized pieces. And I'll tell you a real-life personal example where I was able to get a big sale. I was selling some medical equipment. It was about $20,000. And I was at a seminar over a weekend, so it was a 3-day seminar. And this one doctor, he really, really wanted it, but he wouldn't pull the trigger. I was getting frustrated. He kept coming over the table. And I said, look, I know $20,000 seems like a fair amount of money. It does, and it is a lot of money. But, you know, we can break this down to about, you know, less than $300 a month. So maybe $300 a month we can get this to you. You know, we can lease it to you. And so he's like, well, let me think about it. And so it's getting close to the end of the seminar. And I know well enough, if the seminar ends and he leaves, that's it. You know, you need to get people while they're hot, while they're emotionally involved, while they want it. So he was standing in the back of the seminar. The seminar was almost over. So I just took a wild shot, and I went over and I stood next to him, and I'm watching the seminar a little, and I bump him with my shoulder or my elbow. I'm like, I look at him and go, you can't afford $10 a day, you know? Well, we installed that equipment 2 days later. So, you know, be perseverant and break it down to bite-sized pieces. People buy on emotion, and they justify it with logic. So emotionally, I want it. And logically, if I can buy it for, you know, $10 a day, or in the case of, you know, other stuff, less than $1 a day, whatever it is, or $1 an hour, you can make it work. So anyway, I hope my math was good there. These videos are totally unrehearsed, just totally top of my head, just basically come up here and it's kind of like an improv, basically winging it. So if you catch me in an error or something, it's possible, you know, let me know. You know, I'm happy to take some notes and comments underneath. And if you want to get a hold of me directly, set an appointment to talk about consulting. You can, to grow your business, you can look at the bottom of the page, and my calendar will be there. You can set up a time. If you want to send me an email, private email, you can send it to kennethghasty@gmail.com. Or you want to check me out, it's kennethghasty.com. Or if you want to get the book, it's 77 Seconds to Sales Success, and you can get it at 77secondstosalessuccess.com or Barnes & Noble or Amazon or whatever. So happy selling. Please, if you like this, go ahead and forward it, like it, retweet it, what have you, and we'll keep doing them. All right, thanks. Hope you do well. Take care. Bye.